Hey everyone, I'm Armory Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a Monster Legends video, a monster analysis on the newest and latest Forsaken monster, the newest and latest Marathon monster from the Dragon's Nest Marathon race, Lamia. Lamia was born in the City of Dragons, and from a very young age she showed natural talent for battle. She was a precocious fighter and she got into the competitive scene very soon, but she also got tired of it very often, Attacking only to deal damage was no fun for her, so she started exploring more elaborate skills. However, this journey of self-improvement was regarded with envy by other dragons, who refused to accept Lamia had reached a higher level of expertise. She was marginalized and labeled as a misfit. Even her parents looked the other way to protect the career of her brother, who was also a fighter, but a more traditional one. Lamia couldn't believe it. Even her own family had forsaken her. She had done nothing and no one left in the city, so she flew away, in search of a new place called home. Soon she found two dragon monsters who had the same concept of battling as she did. Their names were Zygar and Dragar, and they had recently taken over a group called the Alliance of Dragons. It was a large group, and there appeared to be some tension between its members and their new leaders Zygar and Dragar, but they all welcomed her happily the minute they saw what she could do on the battlefield. You have to love the Monster Legends lore. It is so incredible. It is so diverse and everything just connects back. I am curious to know, and this will probably be somewhere in the future, who's Lamia's brother? Who was the monster, who was the character that her parents chose over her? So that'll be interesting to see. But anyhow, let us scroll down and get into this monster analysis, because I'm pretty sure everyone wants to know what this monster has up her sleeve. So we'll start with her stats. She has incredible stats. Life stat, oh by the way, she's an earth monster, okay? Life stat 42,224. This is officially the second highest life stat in the earth category. The monster that currently beats her is Brutalis, who is a tank and has a life stat of 44,335. But look at this incredible life stat, my goodness. Power, doesn't matter, 3388, this monster is not an attacker by any means. And then speed, 3586. This is officially the fastest earth monster in the game, tied with Tsunami. However, Tsunami is more of a support monster, so Lamia is definitely going to take this. And even in terms of every single monster in the game, this is the 8th fastest monster, tied with, once again, Tsunami and Rosioku. The only monsters that are faster than her in the whole entire game are Mercurius, Wicca, Nikasha, Cassia, Balbreath, Zenfira, and Hornets. And now we have Lamia, who by the way is a deny monster, and so this is gonna be interesting to see how she compares to everyone. Again, specifically because she is available in the current team race, and you may want to think about getting this monster ranked up. So, but I also want to talk about, like, even if you don't get this monster ranked up, even if you get her unranked, let's talk about how good she'll be. So, like all monsters nowadays, she has an evolving trait. She starts unranked, which I love, with anticipation. I think we should just say thank you, SocialPoint, for making the unranked skill, the unranked trait, one of the better traits, right? Anticipation. Imagine if they would have done rank 0 hardened, rank 2 anticipation. Everyone would have dreaded that. But the fact that she has anticipation for the whole duration, that is phenomenal. Thank you for that, SocialPoint. At rank 2 you get hardened, which means 25% of the time you don't get hit with negative effects, right? At rank 3 you get a status caster immunity to control. I really wish this was a permanent immunity to control, but it's a status caster immunity to control. And then at rank 5 you get block resurrection. So I will say that from rank 0 to rank 3, that's awesome, right? Anticipation immune to control, it's almost like having Hukuai, right? At rank 5, it's like you stole this from Zygar, the block resurrection. I think this is super powerful. If you've ever faced a monster that has block resurrection, you can't rely on your Wormlad's res skill on any monster, right? Nazao, any new monster that's released as a revival skill, if this monster's alive, you're not going to be resurrecting. And then you have anticipation, so if an enemy monster does an extra turn skill, nope, you're going to go on the way and they try to control you and you still have your status caster on, they can't control you. So trait-wise, this monster might take it. Like, if the immunity to control was permanent, that'd be incredible. But if this monster is fully ranked up, this is by far one of the most formidable monsters I've ever seen. I can definitely see her being in defense, the go-to defense at rank 5 for so many of the different situations she can be in. Relics, she can hold the staff and the banner. I mean, my goodness, charging banner if you need it, right? Talika's banner for extra life. Ingvar's banner, of course. The staff, Cane of Atlantis, you never have to worry about stamina, so you actually don't even need the charging banner. Just phenomenal relics. she can hold. She's in the female. She's in the dragon adventure. Let's get into the skills. So tier 1 skills, and yeah, I'm gonna focus on tiers 1 through 3 because I think most players that get this monster will probably get it unranked. You might get a rank 1, maybe rank 2, so we'll see, All right, so one interesting thing about her tier 1 skills are they are all 0 damage, 0 cooldown, and low stamina, 17, 22, 17. So the first one is Flame Dance, applies daze to enemies and applies burn. Okay, it's an AoE burn, AoE daze, consuming you're not an attacker, considering you're just there to deal dots and some sort of negative effect. Not bad, however, in the current meta with Megatons and dodge area, not really the best. Tier 1, Frost Claws, 50% chance of applying freeze to enemies. Cool, I imagine we'll see an AoE freeze later on. But 50% chance to freeze, the likelihood of landing is very, very low. If you have True Vision on, then maybe Frost Claws could be a more formidable skill, but right now I don't think so. And then Inner Fire applies Ignite to one enemy. I guess the only cool thing about all of these skills is the fact that they are spammable, right? But Ignite to one enemy, it's whatever. Let's move on to tier 2 skills. Blow My Wings applies life regen to all allies, so we have a team skill, 2 turn cooldown, 17 stamina cost. Winter Breath. This looks like it would have been a free skill, like AoE freeze, but yeah, removes positive effects from an enemy, applies freeze to an enemy. I guess the good thing about this skill is that single target for when you face a dodge area monster, and then if they have evasion, you get rid of the evasion first, then you freeze. Not bad, especially on a 1 turn cooldown. Time is Burning activates all cooldown on one enemy, applies Ignite to one enemy. 2 turn cooldown, once again dealing no damage, 17 stamina. And the cool thing about this is, again, against a dodge area monster, at least you can deny them with cooldown activated, and you also apply Ignite. So far nothing too groundbreaking, but let's move on to tier 3 skills. We have Dragon's Rest, removes all negative effects from all allies, removes all negative effects from all enemies. Wait, what? Removes negative effects from allies and from enemies? So it's a complete cleanse? I'm not liking this. Unless it's supposed to say removes negative effects from allies, positive effects from enemies? But I don't like this area cleanse for yourself and for your team. Like, support monsters normally just have for your team. They don't also help out the enemy. So that's interesting to see. Cold Fire Breath deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies Mega Freeze to an enemy, applies Burn to an enemy. Ah, so Cold Fire Breath is a Mega Freeze, 45 damage just when it actually attacks. So compared to Winter Breath, I feel like part of me would rather take the Winter Breath because so many times nowadays monsters can have like a skill mirror, an evasion, or something. Whereas Cold Fire Breath, it is a Mega Freeze, but if the enemy has something, you're not going to be able to apply it. And then it's Burn versus Ignite. You know what? Just take them both, honestly. These tier 3 does all have a 3 turn cooldown, however. But yeah, it's a Mega Freeze. You also have your regular freeze. I guess the cool thing is, theoretically, well, not theoretically, you could actually do Cold Fire Breath, Mega Freeze for 2 turns, then the enemy monster will get immunity to freeze, and then you'd be able to do Winter Breath to clear the immunity to freeze and to freeze again. So that's kind of cool. And then we have Time Fissure, deals low earth damage to enemies, activates cooldowns on all enemies, 25 damage, and a 3 turn cooldown, 19 stamina cost. I mean, it's an AoE cooldown activated, not bad. Sorry, Montezuma, no reason to use you anymore, right? Why am I going to activate cooldowns and activate my own cooldowns when I can just use this monster? So, definitely usable, I would say, especially if you're a newer player. Having AoE cooldown activated when you're not facing a lot of Megatons and dodge area monsters, that's going to be great. So, I think for your average new player that is able to get this monster, you have an AoE cooldown activated, you have single Mega Freeze, you have a freeze that also removes positive effects, you have single cooldown activated. Not bad, right? In terms of denial, in terms of how fast this is, not bad at all. Not bad at all. For your more competitive players, unranked, I don't see this monster as being usable. Phenomenal stats and everything, but I do not see him as being usable unranked. Oh, I do not see her as being usable unranked. But let's move on to tier 4 skills. So, assuming you can get this monster ranked up, let's see what she has to offer. So, the first skill, 24 stamina cost, 2 turn cooldown, 0 damage, removes all negative effects from itself. Nice. Applies immunity to control to itself. Nice. Applies life regen to itself. Nice, but not really interesting for like your rank 1 skill. I'm not that impressed. Let's continue. So, the next skill you also keep in mind will get hardened. Removes positive effects from one enemy. Nice. Activates cooldowns on that one enemy. Nice. Applies burn to that one enemy and gives an extra turn. Cool. So this skill right here is essentially an upgraded version of your timing is burning. No, which one was it? Not inner fire. Activate. Yeah, time is burning, right? Because you are applying burn, activating cooldowns, but you're removing positive effects first. So I love that skill. That's a phenomenal skill. Definitely worth getting that rank 2 skill. Remove positive effects, activate cooldowns, extra turn, and that's when you can do Winter Breath and single freeze, or do Cold Fire Breath and mega freeze, or yeah, so awesome. I wish this monster maybe had a trait disabled so you could counter Megaton monsters, because they are so prevalent in the game. But let's move on. What is it? Viserion deals low special damage to all enemies, removes positive effects to all enemies, applies freeze. So we have an AoE freeze skill, and removes positive effects. Yeah, so again, if there's no Megaton dodge area, not only do you have AoE cooldown activated, you have AoE freeze. So not bad. And the Red Death deals moderate earth damage to enemies, activates all cooldowns on enemies, applies ignites, applies daze. Okay, so now you have an upgraded AoE cooldown activated that also will do ignite and daze. So reduces accuracy, reduces damage output by 25%. Ignite takes away like 20% of HP for 2 turns, so that's 40%. So I gotta say it's interesting because I like the monster. I love the monster design. One of the best monster designs in the game. Absolutely love it. The trait is phenomenal, groundbreaking in my opinion. Like anticipation, hard, immune to control, blocking, resurrection. If you can get it fully ranked up. When I look at the skills, I definitely see competitive monster, but then like also at the same time not competitive of a monster, because again, the standard enemies you face in the meta right now is you're gonna face like a Santerion ranked up. You're gonna face a Dunrod ranked up. I don't even know if people still use Dunrod, but you're gonna face a Wicca. You're gonna face, well, again, it depends who you face. You're gonna face like a Wormlad, dodge area. So this monster, like, if you're facing a Santerion, for example, you go first, considering you are crazy fast, one of the fastest monsters in the game, what can you really do against Santerion? Nothing, right? He has a Megaton trait, so you can't do anything. But to be fair, like a lot of monsters have that same problem. If you're facing a Dunraw, the good thing is you can do your, what is it? Porunga removes negative effects from itself. No, not sorry, that one. Musu removes positive effects from one enemy, so you can remove Megaton, activate cooldowns, apply burn, but that extra turn will trigger the enemy monster's anticipation, so then the enemy monster is gonna go and do something against you. So it'll be interesting. But at the same time, if you have your own Santerion and this monster, or not even Santerion, like if you have your own Dunraw, and then you can make it work, because then whoever activates anticipation, they'll attack you, so you can make it work. So overall, I'll say I like the monster. Herself, she's not like a Madam Fusion and Thalassa that can break through some of the meta monsters, but skill set is definitely good, but only when you rank her up. I'd say for her to be obviously at rank 4 is when she is at her fullest, when you have that AoE code activated that ignites in days. But I guess you can do without the Red Death since you have a regular AoE code activated. So I guess I think definitely you want to rank 2, right? But I would say rank 3 is more secure because you'll have that immunity to control trait, and you will also have the AoE freeze, so you have the versatility of doing AoE freeze or AoE cooldown activated. But I say at rank 2 she's a lot better. At rank 3, because you get the immunity to control, she's definitely more usable. The Red Death, while it's nice, I think you can live without it. So even if you can't get this monster to rank 4, you're fine. And obviously, having her with Block Resurrection would be phenomenal. But the likelihood of that happening, not so likely. As for your ultimate, deals heavy special damage to enemies, removes positive effects from all enemies, applies Mega Freeze, applies Burn. What the heck? Why does that? That's like, what? I don't know if I like it that much. I kind of like the Red Death more because of the ignition and daze. Removes positive effects. Yeah, it's, well, it's basically your rank 3 skill, but the Mega version. Deals damage, yeah. Removes positive effects. Applies Mega Freeze versus Freeze and then Burn. Yeah, for an ultimate, I don't know. I would have expected a little more, but overall, I still like the monster. But yeah, guys, I feel like it's weird to say this, but if you don't get this monster, I don't think you're missing out too much, because again, you really do need her ranked up to be more competitive. But it depends on the league and everything. But yeah, guys, this has been my analysis on this monster. Now I want to hear from all of you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Lamia? Once again, I still think she has one of the most amazing monster designs in the game, and look at those eyes. Is that not the logo for Monster Legends? Incredible. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.